Gyms, dojos, fitness centers, whatever you call them, they're starting to open back up. So here's 5 tips to help you make the best of this situation in coming back into training. Tip number 1, pace yourself. You're going to not have been training if your dojo closed. You're going to not have been training for a hot minute. And I know for my school, we've been closed since March 16th. It is now after that by quite a bit, the end of May. And in our state, Governor Roy Cooper has extended the closure for gyms and fitness centers, martial arts schools, yoga studios, all of that until June 26th. Now, but other places, like I can go 35 minutes south into South Carolina and everything's open. So, you gotta pace yourself in the beginning. If you go too ham, you're gonna injure yourself. Just like they always talk about in other channels on martial arts, burnout and injury is a real thing. Since your body is not used to training at the pace that it was before the coronavirus, now is especially important to measure your output. So, for example, if you've been able to have a home gym or a home dojo and you've been able to train pretty much just as much, you could probably come back in at the same pace. But not everyone has that luxury. Some people, everything closed. I know for me, I lost access to everything minus my dojo here. So I could do bag work and all that by myself, but that only, it only does so much. And my wife, thankfully, started jiu-jitsu over this period. So I was able to get a little bit of rolling in and a little bit of drilling and whatnot. But, it's different. And my weightlifting gym closed. The YMCA closed. All of that was closed. So I gained weight, just like probably most people did, because food is delicious and you just eat a lot of it because you're depressed. I'm going to be measuring myself and making sure I'm not going full tilt ham. So I've started working out again. I've started hitting the bag again, started doing some calisthenics, running a little bit because you can do that. And all with the motivation that coming back into training, I do not want to be injured. Now, I've been hosting a slew of injuries before the coronavirus. Some of them never went away. 3 months on certain one of them. But like my knees feel good, shoulders feel good, all that feels good. An elbow does not feel good. There's something wrong there. So at least at that point, I've been able to realize, oh, elbow really hurt. You want to pace yourself. So let's say you normally train 6 days a week. Good on you. You're going to want to come back at 2 to 3. And you're going to only want to do, I'm not saying don't push yourself. You definitely need to push yourself. However, there is a difference between pushing yourself and breaking yourself. So just like when you started martial arts and the first day you did jiu-jitsu and you were absolutely toast, imagine that's going to be the same. And even if you have a really drill-heavy school, do a whole lot of rolling or whatever the situation is when you come back, whether it's just solo drills or whatever with social distancing, do temper your expectations on that with being able to go as often as you want, because you are going to be kind of wrecked. So, pace yourself. You got rusty. Everyone got rusty. Don't worry about it. But be aware of it. Note that you might not be as fast, as slick, and as controlled as you once were. If you're in jiu-jitsu and you're going for that arm bar and from mount, you might accidentally kick your bro in the head, or chick, whomever. You might actually kick them in the head. So maybe slow yourself down just a little bit until you get that finesse and control back. It's going to take some time. Good news is everyone got rusty, not just you. Unless they've been training the whole time, and if they have, good on them. But if they haven't, okay. Most people have not continued to train. So everyone got rusty, and everyone's timing is going to be off. It's going to be a sparring, kickboxing sparring, everyone's timing is going to be garbage. Cardio, as I just mentioned, is going to be, everyone's going to be slower. Everyone's going to have less cardio. Everyone's not going to be as clean. There's going to be those few prodigies that have lost nothing, and they are the bane of your existence, but they're there, and they're never, ever, you're never going to catch them. But anyway, that being said, note that you got rusty. So maybe be a little more cognizant of what you are doing, how you're doing it, how come it was easier before, and what do you need to work on specifically to improve it. If it's kickboxing and timing, maybe do more sparring drills. If it's jiu-jitsu, do more positional drills. See what movements you got really sucky at, or some that are still slick. So that way, you know what you need to work on. So that way you can chisel off that rust. This virus has really made people divisive. Be careful and ultimately be respectful. Too many people have spent too long on the internet by themselves during this time, and as such have different things to say on both sides of the fence. Just keep that at that. People have become more critical, all this stuff. You're gonna have to work on your respectfulness. If you are training with somebody who really wants to respect social distancing, who's wearing a mask and all that stuff, don't be a dick. That's rule number one, the unwritten rule number one of our dojo, is don't be a dick. It's really important to know, everyone's different. You don't know everyone's story. Some people have had a lot of stuff happen to them in the past that may have really skewed their viewpoint to the point where it's completely polar opposite to yours. But that's what makes martial arts awesome, because you can train with such a diverse group and you're all equal on the mat. So make sure you're being respectful. If someone says something and your immediate thought is just to completely bash them, maybe take a second, reflect on what they said, and if it needs to be said, say it. If it doesn't, don't. The golden rule, it always applies. If you don't have anything nice to say, maybe don't say it. So if you think they're a sheep because they wear masks, maybe just keep that to yourself, right? So just be like, put that up there. Or maybe you think they're too reckless because they're like, no social distancing whatsoever, this close to you. That's personal space, bubble man. When we're talking and having a conversation, you gotta stay away from me. Anyway, neither here nor there. Be respectful of everyone's opinions. Remember that the dojo, everyone's equal. We all come in and have a good time. You're going to train with all walks of life, whether they're a lawyer or they work at a fast food restaurant or whatever. Everyone's different. So make sure you respect their opinions and just keep it to yourself. If you got something negative to say, just don't say it, right? It's what your own platform is for. But the dojo is not that platform. Just like all things kind of like political and all that, you got to keep that out of this space. So don't be a dick. Be respectful. You're probably not going to get promoted anytime soon until everyone gets back to the swing of things. If you were like up for a promotion and let's say a new stripe on your belt in jiu-jitsu, a new level in taekwondo, whatever, a whole new belt entirely, you may not be getting that for a hot minute until we get back up to speed, unless you're just been sandbagging and they're just like, what, it's time. You're probably not going to get promoted anytime soon. So temper your expectations there, right? Your instructor loves you very much. I know I love all of my students equally, no favorites, but you're probably not going to get promoted. Now, it might differ depending on your martial art, varying, like if you've done Zoom classes and you've had a training partner and you can kind of show the curriculum. Chances are, however, for most combat sports, that's not going to be the case. If your school is a heavy curriculum school with a lot of promotions and things like that, you know, you might get by. But chances are you probably gotta, however long you are out, just assume it takes that much longer to get your next whatever, unless you're really behind. But I mean, just temper your expectations. Don't get mad at your instructor or your gym unless they're just dicks. And then if they are, why are you training there? Unless you yourself are a dick. That is the real question. Last but not least, be grateful. And I know that sounds preachy, and I don't mean it to, but if your school is still open after the pandemic, thank your martial arts instructor and gym owner. They worked hard during the time in which they were closed to keep their school open despite not having people present. That is a commendable act. If your dojo closed and you need to find a new one, be grateful to the ones that are still open. Be grateful to those with whom you get to continue to train with. Be grateful that you yourself did not get sick, or if you did get sick, that you recovered and that you are able to train. This has put a lot of things in perspective for me personally, and I hope for you to take some time to reflect when you get back into training how nice it is that you get to do this weird thing that in anthropology could be viewed as a place of worship. And not to get on that side of the argument, but we have rituals when you come in, whether it's take your shoes off, you bow, depending on the school. You have rituals that you come in, even if it's just a simple slap bump with the front desk person or the slap bump with the main instructor because you have a small school. And then the ritual of bowing on the mat or slap bumping before doing that, or double fist bumping before you start kickboxing sparring. All these rituals make it a place of reverence where it is an important place. So be grateful to that. Make sure to thank your training partners, thank your instructors, thank the school owners. It's really important that we take this time to be grateful and thankful that we've made it through this pandemic, this situation. Ending things on a somber note, that's not my style. So I'm going to give you one extra little bit of help here, and that is set some goals. You've had all this time to focus on what you want out of training. Now go and get that. You want to be a competitor? You want to go compete and be awesome at whatever martial art you're doing? Go do that. You want to lose weight? Go do that. You want to be an instructor or a black belt? Go do that. This is the time where you focus in, and now you're back to training. You aim for that goal. That is right before you now. Just do it! Go ahead and strive for those goals. You've had the time to think about it. So, you're going to have, let's review real quick. Your cardio is going to be shot, so pace yourself. You're going to be rusty, so be cognizant and start to chip away the rust. Be respectful. Everyone's so divisive right now. Remember, all are equal on the mat. Don't be a dick. You're probably not going to get promoted super quick because everything's got to get back into the swing of things. And be grateful because we made it through this. We made it through it together. And now we're back to training. All is well in the world. That being said, if you enjoyed these videos here or these tips, if you enjoyed the video and these tips, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss this handsome face all up on your YouTubes. And make sure you like as well because that really helps and gets the views out there. That being said, guys, I hope to see you guys in the next video. And gals, guys and gals. But I hope to see you guys in the next video. And that being said, jump up, eBay, Gin Line, and party on. I spaced out. Oh! You're going to, man, I was on a roll with this one. I totally spaced.